Hey, Mike, what do Kelly Slater and PT have in common?
I don't know. They're both world champs?
Nope, they both own Endless Summer box set.
Oh my God, rad. You guys, you can get it too. The link's in the show notes.
Life has its twists, has its turns.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Quivercast, where we chat with surfers from all around the world, from all walks of life, and we get their story. Find us at www.thequivercast.com. I am Mike, your host. Let's get into the show. Hey everybody, this is Mike here with the Quivercast. I'm super stoked. Today, all the way from Eastern Australia, Beau Young.
Most easterly point in Australia.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, yep.
All right, Beau Young is on the show. So, okay, tell us about where you live.
I live on a little 10-acre property just inland of Brunswick Heads, which is like 20 minutes north of Byron Bay. And I live in a barn. And obviously, always been pretty inspired by Morning of the Earth and that period of surfing. And yeah, I find myself loving being out here. I'm, 12 minutes from the coast. I've got a shaping bay, and I can shape and then go straight from shaping to the outside shower. And yeah, I feel pretty lucky. I mean, I've worked hard to hang on to it, but it's just amazing being here.
Wow. I got to ask you, like, as a 12-year-old Grom or 14-year-old Grom, if you had to, plan your life out then, would today be what you were planning, or do you have something else in mind?
I think it's probably if I'm definitely, I've spoken to a lot of friends about it, I'm definitely the glass is always half full kind of guy.
Okay.
That's how I approach life, and I can't believe it's amazing being alive for a start. But I think if I guess I kind of dreamed that I could somehow make a living riding waves.
Mm-hmm.
Be it making boards, or initially back in the day, it was competing was the only real way to try and make a living. But I think it's just I think it's more of a dream than I imagined. Being able to play music that kind of came from surfing, really the feeling and the vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the life I'm living is probably better than I could have imagined, if I'm honest.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Cool. So you're scoring. Yeah. You scored.
Yeah, but I mean, I enjoy seeing it through rose-colored glasses, and it seems like cool things occur when you approach it in that regard. I find,
okay,
rather than saying, "Oh shit," I've still got a mortgage or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like seeing it the other way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there was a dolphin underneath me this morning.
Okay,
and I got barreled, and it's just just seeing ticks all the time.
Okay. How are the waves in your general area, Byron Bay area?
Yeah, well, I surfed today with two friends.
Okay.
Which is very different to Byron Bay Central, obviously.
Yes.
Byron, on the worldwide map, for sure. I find it pretty amazing, that you can still find really pretty special waves with not many human beings around. Yeah, I mean, in a crazy mixed up world, the fact you can still do that it just staggers me. Even this morning, me and two friends, some really punchy, quite powerful waves and a few barrels involved, and just knowing I was getting to come and talk to you about surfing with no complaint.
I think at the end of the day, all we wanted to do is surf, right? And that's kind of your goal too.
Yeah, surfing's such a funny thing, isn't it? Because we may get a wave and a friend or two may see us or whatever, and it's such it's stored in the memory banks, but it's such the metaphor for life. It's the now. I was in the ocean an hour ago, but that time's passed. But the fact you can bring, every wave's, I've got a daughter in England, so oftentimes I'm surfing pretty average waves, and it's but just the fact we can catch something for free in the modern day and age, and to be to not only be like you walk on the ground and you're walking on nature, you're with nature, but we get to be in nature and surrounded by nature and the ionization and all those things. Mind blowing to me.
Yeah. Yeah. You're from the Young family, so I'm assuming you don't remember your first wave.
One of my very first waves would have been hanging onto my father's back.
Right. Yeah.
Just riding prone to shore.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping I get to, I'm got a 4-year-old daughter in the UK, and I like my dream is that she gets to have half the love that I feel I have for the sea,
Mm-hmm.
But I think, yeah, my first wave would have been clinging onto my dad's back, really.
Yeah.
Just in the shallows on a little bit of foam.
Yeah.
And just riding it, like riding it up onto the sand, and coming to a stop.
Yeah. At what point do you remember surfing? Like your first memory of surfing?
Pretty vague at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But I feel like I've been late in everything, like always. Like I was scared of the water. I had a couple of near drowning experiences. My mum plucked me out by my hair one time. I was like stuck in a little eddying whirlpool next to some rocks.
Wow.
And she just turned away for a second, and I was under.
Wow.
But I was super gun shy. I was really gun shy, and
Okay.
but I was definitely catching waves before I could literally swim.
Yeah.
Like as long as I could walk out in the shallows and turn around and like catch a little bit of foam and like try to get to my feet on a blue foam single fin. That was kind of all the rage back then. Blue foam single fins that gave you an incredible rash. But around 8 years old.
Okay.
It was definitely it was a process, like to even go from surfing in the shallows to learning to swim to then to be able to go like beyond the breakers and stuff. I remember that being a period in time where I was kind of doing things around the wrong way, really.
Okay.
And then everything, getting any competitive results, that was way later than all of my peers. Getting into longboarding, I felt like compared to say Joel Tudor or someone, I was obviously way later into that. And then musically, I felt like I was 6 years behind everyone else that was doing it, and we all go at our own pace,
So when the surfing bug, you've been surfing your whole life, but when you finally started surfing a lot, were you riding a longboard? Were you riding a shortboard? What were you riding? What kind of board equipment?
Well, I'm of the generation that began on a single fin.
Okay.
Like really? So what would that be? I'm guessing early 80s.
Early
like
80s, yeah.
Just like around 80, 81 when Simon was just starting with thrusters.
Okay.
And my dad was doing 2+1s, or as Andrew Kidman calls them, I guess Dave Harmon, Widowmaker style. But I was definitely, I don't know where that name come from. I guess, I don't know, maybe you don't have a wife because all you want to do is surf. I don't know.
Yeah.
That works.
I don't know. I never thought about it.
I never got it. But being a longboarder, I call them 2+1s. But so I began on a single fin, and then I think it was later around 12, 13, 14, I was on a thruster that my dad made. And I remember it being like 6 or 8 inches longer and wider than all of my friends, and just like this cumbersome thing. I'm like, what am I doing? Everyone else is on.
Yeah.
But so I kind of, there wasn't many other avenues at the time. Like, so I followed that. And then I got into doing the pro juniors on shortboards and world qualifying things. I started on that.
Okay.
And then I ended up going to Italy because I was sponsored as a shortboarder by Oxbow, French clothing label.
Yep.
And I went to Italy with Dwayne DeSoto, Joel Tudor, Takuji Masuda, my dad. They were all asleep and jet lagged, and I saw tiny waves, and they had like a fleet of Donald Takiyamas, and I already thought longboarding was really cool, but I didn't really know how to ride one. And I was just like the token shortboarder guy on that trip, really, I guess.
Okay.
And I took one out, and it was literally ankle high, and I was meant to be, from that trip with my dad and those friends, I was supposed to be going on the qualifying series.
Yeah.
But I told Oxbow, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I just want to ride longboards, and like ridiculous notion, really. And I ended up, on a quarter of the payments I was on because I became a longboarder.
Really? Literally? A tiny,
Literally.
ankle high wave change your whole perspective on surfing?
Yeah, it really did. Just that glide.
Okay.
And even this morning, like the shape of the boards and everything, flatter rocker, just like I think the longboards taught me so much in reference to design and things like that, much more so personally than the thruster has.
Okay.
Just as far as because once getting into shaping, I kind of know what I like in a board, and like the rail to rail transitions and all those things. Yeah, the longboard really pretty special, the way it just takes it back to square one. Yeah, and I love the fact that riding alternative style boards, you just have no choice other than to have your own individual style, which we all have.
Okay.
That.
How did your style change from coming from like a short board down the line, probably hit the lip,
Yep,
to all of a sudden you're just kind of, I don't know if cruising is the right word, but I mean, that's the word that comes to mind.
Yeah, it's
completely different styles. Did they translate?
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. There's it's like I can only relate it to music, really. It's like the spaces in between, really.
Oh,
it's
okay.
like sometimes less is more, and you've got to let things breathe, and you've got to take a step back to move forward, kind of vibe on a longboard.
Okay.
Yeah, so you really have to you let it load up a different way, and you have to pace it differently. Like you can't constantly be standing on the engine and utilizing that. You've got to let it run free because it's a big thing, and it needs and the engine. You turn, and then the engine kind of needs to recalibrate, and then you're on again. And then you're on but linking the engine and the trim is an interesting one.
Okay.
It's highly addictive, and I think it translates also to like a lot of those kind of some wouldn't say mid-length, but the Devon Howard,
yes,
Jock Tudor principle. It's the same thing. Like it's all just finding that connectivity. But every board has their own nuance, so it's I wouldn't say a 3-fin thruster shortboard has a lot of commonality with the longboard.
Yeah.
Really?
No, you're right.
Because one's all engine driven back foot, and the other one's really quite. There's immediate engagement with the right fin on a longboard.
Okay.
But it's a rapid turn, and then it needs to reload. This is talking a single fin.
Yes.
And then it needs to reload, and then you turn once again. Yeah, it's a nice medium. It's just like I love the dance of it. I love the trim. Yeah, I mean, I'm still like more than hooked to this day. But referring back to your question, like I know I can go on tangents.
No, you're good.
It's morning here, so I'm having my second cup of coffee.
Perfect.
But I do find, you just I really don't think that I tried to approach it for many years with a shortboarder's mindset, and that just doesn't work. It just fails completely. I think even with like, you see shortboarders on like 7.6s and stuff now. It's which is cool, but it's like you got to let the thing run. You've got to let it run. You've got to. It's not. You're not forcing it around. There's a relationship involved.
Okay. No, you're right.
I mean, that's what I love about it. Like the ocean is. We all have a relationship with the ocean. We're so lucky. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I get to do that. With a board. Like you've got a relationship with the board. In my opinion, like I think if that's my take, you know.
No, 100%. I totally agree. I see what you're saying. I agree with you. A couple questions are, do you ever get on a thruster anymore? Like a traditional shortboard?
Probably about 12 years ago.
Really? It's not that long.
Yeah. But this was like, I'd say since the late 90s, I reckon I've ridden a thruster shortboard twice.
Okay.
And one of those times I swapped my longboard with Mick Fanning and I tried to ride his board.
Oh,
and honestly, like, I can't believe I used to ride that style of board because I thought I had two left feet.
okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I think
How do you do on your board?
pretty bloody good. I think he can ride it. He can ride a door. For sure.
No shit. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. They're just such different animals. It's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful we have that. Like,
Of course.
like I like tennis, for example,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like we just have, like, our history remains with us in the sea a bit. Whereas, like, I can't watch Rod Laver unless I like Google YouTube from whatever era he was playing with a wooden racket.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's just like, I love that the broader surfing demographic now seems to have really cottoned on to different craft,
Okay.
because through that they're getting to experience what, say, New Eva or my dad or Sean Thompson or Karen or Carol or whoever it may be, you know, like, it's diverse and it's fun and it's cool. You know, it's really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So when you're going down your 12-minute drive to the beach, how many boards do you have in the vehicle with you?
I've got a rack of the world's most horrible carpentry made surfboard rack that holds, in my van, it holds four shorter boards.
Okay.
That are all really quite different.
Yep.
And then two longboards, so six I guess
boards.
I'd travel. Yeah.
And those are your go-to boards as of today?
Yeah, depending on what it feels as though the ocean's doing. Like, if it's bigger, I'll throw in a couple of kind of narrower Takayama style twins.
Yeah.
Drawn out Bertelmann kind of things.
Okay.
Which I just love when the surf gets solid if need be, you know, like.
Okay.
But only if we've got some waves around do I put them in case, kind of thing. Yeah.
As far as shaping your own board, do you have a preference of the style? What's your style for your personal use?
Yeah.
Does it vary also? Is it all over the place? Or are you consistent?
My shapes or
no,
my style?
what's your personal boards you ride and that you shape?
Yeah, I feel like I really I swing with that too.
Okay.
You know, like I've got a 6'2" concave to V, like step uppy type thing, I guess they call it these days.
Okay.
It's a twin, but it'll work in like big surf, surprisingly. Because the fins are a long way back and they're very upright. But then it'll also work in head high stuff.
Yeah.
So it covers some bases, and then I'm still loving that kind of MP / Wayne Lynch kind of wombatty shape.
Okay.
It's kind of like a stubby, I guess they call them as well. That has like an 825 with little side fins, so it's just like a very, very, very small squash longboard, I guess.
Actually, a question just came to mind. You've met and hung around with some of the greatest surfers of all time. Are you looking at their boards when you're visiting with them and let's say you're having a surf?
Well, like I know Dad and I got to play tennis against Dora, and that was amazing.
Okay.
And he and his lawyer just wiped the floor with us. That was pretty special. And I said, I've got to get one photo of Mickey. And out of the camera roll at that time, it was the only one that didn't turn out. So I'm pretty bummed. But go figure, it's Mickey Dora.
Yes.
So yeah, didn't get a photo with him in the end because it didn't work out. Like, George Greeno's a massive inspiration, and he's only half an hour from here, and living in his pyramid on top of the mountain and still just eating all his own fish and surfing daily. And 80 years old, same bowl cut, does his own haircut, still refining shapes, just like an incredible inspiration and an incredible mind. Yeah, I definitely take inspiration from him.
Okay.
I mean, I got to have a cup of tea wedged between Michael Peterson and my dad, but I never really looked at any of his boards. I didn't like my dad knew them better
Yeah.
than me, obviously. So
Oh,
I was
yeah.
just fortunate enough to be able to meet them, but I didn't even like, you know, Morning of the Earth. You can see the outline of the board. MP was writing it.
Oh, yeah.
Kira, I mean, he could write anything, obviously, but like that kind of shape for that kind of canvas, you know, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and shaping's an interesting one because it just doesn't. It's a bit like guitar playing or anything that we love, you know. Like it doesn't seem to. I'm going to die trying, you know, trying different things and trying to grow as a person with the art that I love, kind of thing.
Yep.
So, and it is. It's like a blank. It is literally a blank canvas. Really, you can marry up templates and you can yeah, the world's your oyster. It's cool. And now musically, like with technology, anything's attainable. Like I can sing with 6 of me as backing.
Yeah, that's rad.
You know what I mean? Like, and I can also really create tones that are just really pretty. You know, it's like it's. I think it's an amazing time to be alive.
Yeah, I mean with the technology, but a lot of the stuff you do is hands-on yourself, right? How much do you rely on technology? Like shaping, it's all hand shaped, right? Are you doing any boards?
I'm doing some off the machine.
You are
for sure.
Okay.
Yep. If I have a truly magic shape, yeah, definitely. I rely on technology.
Yeah. Okay.
I still hand shape a lot, but I just it's the same with music now. I'm pretty heavily into electric guitar, and people would assume that's rock, but not really. You can have subtle warmth and incredible tone via technology. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people come down hard on the machine shape and everything.
Yeah, but has its
And
place.
I think there's a lot to be said about that.
Mm-hmm.
But personally, it's like if you put me in a shaping bay and said, make me this board from scratch, I can and I will.
Yeah.
So I feel I've got my stripes,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. No, I don't.
And anyway, and I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like that whole thing. Like, there's always going to be like differing opinions.
Of course.
Yeah, and it's like it staggers me, the technology. Like if I have I replicated some of George's ideas in a longboard.
Yeah.
Like a nose rider with those, you know, quite deep channels on the outer rail.
Okay.
I don't know what they call those, but yeah, they follow the rail and then they taper off after the front third on my boards. Like, so triplane hull, I guess they call them. Yeah, so you've got 3 concaves, but you've got multiple rails through that front end. So theoretically, you can really turn off that nose. Like you've got so many rails, and you've got lift, levitation, and hold of the concaves. It's phenomenal, you know, really. And that's where it's like, no, I'm not going to be hand shaping them day in, day out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
like
100%.
It's a ton of work. Takes me 5 hours. I'm slow. I'm super slow in the back.
That's okay.
I'm slow in general. Like my friends used to call me slow young anyway, like getting into the water, blah, blah, blah. Like I'm one step behind, you know.
All right.
And that's
in my opinion, you should embrace technology. I mean, you know, everyone has their own opinion, but I mean, I think it's a good thing to embrace technology.
I feel like I've always been a foot in both camps. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like in so many areas of life, like even like there's this whole like longboarder thing where it's like you got to ride a single fin, and other people are about, you know, more performance, and I'm like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like as long as I'm surfing, I do not actually give a you know what. Like,
Yeah.
And then the same with the surf, like with the got to be a hand shaper. It's like, well, yeah, well, that's all well and good until you're in the salt mines doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I look at a lot of my shaping idols, and they can't shape because their bodies are trashed.
Well, of course, yeah.
You know, it's
You being a former world champ on longboarding.
yep, man, a while ago now.
Okay, it's been a while, but you still, it's something that cannot be taken away. So, I mean, there's kind of a split in the WSL. And do you watch current longboarding now in the contest or no?
Yeah, of course. Like I've got so many friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Like when you can actually watch it, you know what I mean? It's still
Yes.
it's still kind of the ugly stepdaughter, so to speak, kind of vibe. Which obviously, you know, if we can't help myself sometimes. If we're gonna go down the slightly political road, we all know that longboarding is an art and a dance, and should be in the Olympics. If that's what people want to be doing for a profession, surfing beautifully on a bigger board, then they should be in that environment, because that's what your general public are probably going to understand more, just like figure skating.
Okay, that makes sense.
See, I'm there to run with the baton, but I'm not there to fucking say I think you should have 3 fins or 1.
No, but okay. So I mean, that was my question. Kind of how they've kind of I guess the '90s. You know, the guys like the Ted Robinson, all these shortboarders, and not. I mean, I'm all for it. I like both styles of surfing. I like it all actually. As long as you get in the water, I feel like that, and you're a decent person out there. Not indecent as surfing, but just a decent human being, not burning everybody.
I think that's, isn't that what we all think surfers are meant to be? You know what I mean? Like, we're meant to benefit from that.
I don't know, because when I grew up in the '80s surfing, if you paddle out on a longboard here in Southern California, you were booed out of the water or kicked out of the water. That all changed in the 90s.
Mid '90s. I copped my fair share of crap.
Okay, but anyhow, I'm going back to the WSL. Yeah. They've kind of changed their format to more traditional longboarding and judging. Do you have any thoughts on that, or is that too political?
I think it's beautiful. Like I love riding my single fin. Like that's what I ride. That's what I ride mainly, for sure.
Okay.
But you know, there's. I mean, this is, and once again, it's my opinion, because you know, you're talking to me, but and asking me questions, and it's like the roundhouse cutback on a 3-fin longboard.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sheer G-force and the build up and the hold and everything, like that's undeniable.
It's beautiful, right?
Yeah, it's beautiful, you know. And I think I remember a long time ago, my dad's like, oh, they should try and find the best surfer on all forms of equipment. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like, well,
how do you do that?
Sense. You have all the categories, and you're like, that guy rode him. That female surfed them best, and therefore, out of the 4 divisions, she rode a fish, she rode an egg.
That's a right idea.
It's a great idea, but obviously, the powers that be seem to dictate a lot of things, but with longboarding, you know, that's talking about the shortboard side and the Olympics and all those things, but. When it comes to that, I really don't know what to say, because I think, like we were just saying, I think they're both great, and you know, like I find it ironic because Joel and I were very good friends for a long time.
Yeah,
and he's always been a very large fan, but he's always been a very big fan of Bob Marley. And what's Bob Marley's greatest quote? Judge not.
There you go. Yeah.
So, but that's how I like to look at life myself.
But
as far as like what to push, I don't know. Like I'm
okay.
So far removed from a contest director. It's not funny. Like, well, I'm into the I'm borderline. My surfing experience is borderline loving the spiritual and religious aspect of it, that I think it can give us all, you know.
Okay. First off, you said the Bob Marley quote, and I'm not going to argue with you because that's a great quote, but you're in a contest, so you have to be judged, right?
Oh yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a very valid. That's very valid. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So we are now being judged as far as what to ride.
But okay, so we'll move on past that question. Next question,
Yeah, maybe I am that far removed from it.
which is good. That's not a bad thing.
No, I don't know, but like obviously when I saw Joel win, I'm like, shit, I'm gonna get back in there. But that's just my ego talking. I don't want to compete. So
Oh, you don't want to. I think that's the good thing about longboarding. I think it actually can mature with age, where shortboarding you kind of lose your body a little bit, maybe. It's a different style.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure.
Besides Kelly, of course.
Yeah, amazing. But like, I don't know. That's why it's nice seeing some of these incredible shortboarders, riding mid lengths and things, because it's like, you're getting it. You're getting the fact that you can iron that out in between, and you're surfing better than you ever have. Like, it's cool.
There are certain guys, no matter what they're riding, are just good surfers. Like,
yeah,
like you said, Mick Fanning could ride a door. I mean, just a good surfer, a great surfer.
Yeah.
Like, all of us guys that are just surfers are envious, because that's our goal, is to one day be able to pick up any board and just have fun on it, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's such beauty in that, like, because the ultra competitive stuff seems to iron out a lot of style.
Okay.
Especially now more than ever. Like, it's a sad thing, because it just, the individual style was like everything, and we all innately have our own style, and that's the beauty of the kind of boards we're talking about, is that you don't have a choice. Like, you get Mick Fanning on a single fin, it's going to be Mick Fanning's style. It's not going to be my style. It's not going to be your style.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a choice. Like, and that's the beauty of having to calm things down and find and be with the wave more than ferocious.
Yes, agreed. Going back to the comps, did you enjoy surfing comps, or was it something you felt
No, towards the end I really did not. Like, there was a long period Joel and I didn't talk over something that occurred in a contest.
Oh, really?
Just different trains of thought.
Yes.
The more I played music, because like music, obviously there's a competitive thing. You can be top of the fucking pops, but really, not really. Like, that you're tapping into the musical wave, and you're riding it, and you're developing as an individual. And that's kind of like, if I wanted to kneeboard on a wave, if the curl was appropriate to going down to my knees,
mm-hmm.
You can't do that in a competitive framework. And I just, it was that and the music, and I just didn't want to paddle around against my friends for money, for love or money. It's not. Alternative surfboards gave me the understanding that I just felt way too lucky to want to be judged.
Yep, I get it. Totally get it.
Yeah.
Talking about music, where do you draw your influences? And I really dig your music, by the way. I actually really enjoy it. I was listening to a lot of it yesterday.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, I look forward to getting you more. Like, got a new single coming out in October now.
Sweet.
And just starting to gig again. It's been a long time. It's been like 20 years or something.
Okay.
And just in like little coffee shops and stuff, and just
that's rad.
Playing all sorts of obscure instruments, I guess now, like cigar box and
yes, that's on your Instagram.
Yeah, they're so beautiful. A mate of mine, Jazzy Smith, is like the world's greatest one-man band, I would say. And he grew up as a street performer. He's been a big influence on me as far as using my feet and using all my digits and things like that, and working on pulse and feel, and like we're talking about with longboarding, like giving breathing space where breathing space needed, and subtlety. Or my influences are vast, like from rock to James Taylor, Paul Simons, like a lot of that 80s Australian rock.
Yeah. Like who? Like Midnight Oil or
Midnight Oil,
Hoodoo Gurus?
Hoodoo Gurus, Ganga Jang.
Okay, Ganga.
Like Yeah, it's vast, like, and then I also love like Tracy Chapman and
Okay.
Bob Dylan. Yeah, it's a bit like the surfboard thing, and
Yeah.
and like I've got friends helping me with the music right now, and they just said you don't now, because I've been playing for so long. I can't really be boxed into a genre, and that suits me just fine, because I there's not one genre I prefer over another. And it's just like saying, oh, do you prefer an egg surfboard to a Steve Listfish or a single fin longboard? Or I'm like, I don't prefer any of them over the
Just
other
give
one.
me one of each.
If kid in the candy shop, not a no, okay, yeah, not a problem. If it's a first world problem, but if you're offering me a Steve Listfish, I'll you know what I mean. I'll
Right.
ride it. And yeah, so music's the same. Like it's so diverse, and it's never ending. It's the same. It's the same as us with surfing. Like you die learning.
Did you, as a 12-year-old, did you ever think you'd be a musician?
Not really. No, not really. Like my dad, he had a bit of a warble and played a chord or two, but and still does. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't have put him in the musician box.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I really. I think I was influenced by my father and my stepfather's music. Like they're both pretty broad. Like obviously, if you're listening to J.J. Cale and God rest his soul, they all, every one of the greatest artists, be it Tom Petty to Mick Jagger, Eric Clapton, all lauded J.J. Cale. And like if you're getting to listen to things like that as a young kid, it's hard to not want to try to do something musically, I found.
Mm-hmm.
And surfing's pretty creative, and it's like, well, if you can string a turn together, maybe you can string two chords together, and it's a fact. It's like anyone can play music. You pick up a harmonica, blow in and out on it, and finish on the same spot you start. You've got your own song. Like we're all capable. I love that about it. It's like time immemorial. You strip it back to its simplest thing. It's like hitting one stick on another stick, like the Indigenous Australians with their clap sticks. It's so beautiful. It can be so little, like the birds singing behind you right now, to all out rock and roll. Like it's so broad, so special. I love it.
So, but going back to the 80s or 90s, everything was put in a box. If you liked metal, let's say, or you liked,
Yeah.
new wave, like you had to like stay in your genre. If you were a shortboarder, you shortboarded. If you're a longboarder, you're a longboarded. But
Yeah.
I think society's more open maybe to the differences, and we embrace them.
Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, I hope it's the same musically as it is surfing. I imagine so.
I think so.
Yeah, so cool, huh? It's just great. Everyone can. I think it just makes for a lot more open-minded people.
Yeah.
And ideally, like when it comes to politics as well, you know what I mean? Like all that should, we're not stuck in the one street, and we don't, you know what I mean?
That's a whole different thing. I didn't want to.
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, we don't need to go there.
No,
Jeez.
I've put myself, since COVID, I put myself in a little bubble, and I don't even watch news. So
Yeah, no, that's special.
I don't know if that's good or bad. It could be really bad, honestly, but whatever.
I don't know. I love the whole one foot in front of the other and feel the earth beneath your feet kind of thing. It's good. You know what I mean? You're not affecting anyone. You're trying to do the right thing. As humans, doing the right things. Yeah,
That's the hard thing. Like, I guess you're doing the right thing for yourself. At the end of the day, really, what matters.
Yeah, and then like, but I do like, as we were saying with surfing, like if you come back onto land and you can feel like you're a pretty good person from what you've just experienced, and when you interact with others, you've got that. You know what I mean? Like That's nice. That means we're a good, very large group of people.
I think surfers in general, we are, but
yeah,
only a couple bad apples out there, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think I think we all know how lucky we are. It's cool.
You were talking about you might be starting to do some gigs.
Yeah, I have just little gigs locally,
That's
and
rad.
I know it's really nice. It's nice. The one thing I love about it, is when, say, you're only playing to like 15 people, you realize you're kind of like one human being because you're all on the same. You're all involved. You're together. It's not. There's no separation really.
Yeah, you're making eye
You know,
contact.
it's super cool.
Yeah.
It's nice like that. It's like I like the fact that it's more than me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I like that about it. It's like community. You know, it really is. It's cool. I enjoy it immensely, and I like when people have fun and enjoy it as well. You know,
Yes.
and especially like lyrically, a lot of my songs are these days a little bit towards that spiritual aspect that I've like the beyond me scenario that he's surfing. And I've been trying to tap into that. Like I've lost a few pretty close friends in the last few years, and
Sorry.
and I've had a lot of them come back to me as animals often. So it's had me, yeah. A little friend of mine who passed away, I've had one-on-one for many, and still, like I'll probably have a couple today, one-on-one bird species interaction, which has made me very aware that we're not just here now. So I've been tapping into that musically, and I've been really enjoying it. Yeah, and I think also, you know, just being in nature like that probably makes you a little bit open to that at times.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I've definitely felt that presence, and it's kind of weird talking to you about it because a lot of people are going to go, "That's pretty strange," but I found it very powerful and very consistent. And I even had friends who were hanging out with me like, "Fuck, there's that bird again. Oh, there's another bird. There's another bird." That kind of thing. I'm like, "Yeah, that's Frankie." You know what I mean? Like, pretty cool.
Wow. Okay. How do you? I have to ask you. How do you know it's Frankie?
So little Frank, she was I had a children's band, like I had a band of animals. We were called Animals Rock, and we sang only about animals. And I did that for 10 years, and did a bunch of albums. And Frankie, she always had brain cancer.
Oh, wow.
And I played for her when she was little, like 3 years old. And 3 or 4, my daughter's age. She was like my daughter's age.
Yeah.
And she loved Animals Rock. And it was just the best to connect with her.
That's cool.
But she was super in touch with nature.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still good friends with her parents. I'm playing a gig for them in the next month.
Oh, wow.
And she was like a young David Attenborough. So she had animals would come and sit on her shoulders. She'd swim with the same group of stingray and octopus every day down at Lennox Head. She was just tremendous. It was like she wasn't of this earth. It was very cool. Like she was a spiritual being, you know, like really cool. And I knew it was Frankie just because it was so prominent.
Okay.
Like it was from the moment I heard that she wasn't here, I'd drive to the beach and I'd have a bird, one individual bird flying in front of my car, bobbing and weaving in front of me, then it would go. And then a minute later on the same drive to the beach, another different species would be in front of my vehicle.
Wow.
You know, and then
that's
coming home that after getting groceries, there'd be an owl staring me down. And then the next day there would be a white pigeon staring me down. But always one bird, never two. And that's where I'm like, all right, I think there's been 40 signs now. I'm getting it, Frankie. It's you.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. No, but it's a trip to
it's
talk
trip.
about
It is a trip. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's super, well, I mean, and these interactions aren't common with, you know, did you have these before?
Not so much.
Not
really. No,
Yeah.
no, I couldn't ever say I've really had that before. No.
Wow. Yeah,
I couldn't say that. Yeah.
No, that's super cool. Well,
and I told her parents, and they're like, "We've been hearing this from quite a few people."
Really?
But she was a very powerful little girl. Like she was so amazing. Like just her love of animals and
Okay.
nature was like, yeah, she was like,
That's rad. Okay.
yeah, she was a cool kid.
Yeah, that's okay. Super rad. That's kind of
Yeah,
wild.
it's like she kind of started me on my writing process again, basically, if I'm honest.
So she's opened up a door, maybe? Is that or have you just slowed down and just paid more attention to notice?
Like I've always for a long time now, I've been into yoga and meditation.
Yes. Okay, that's good.
And just realizing that we're, individually a mere speck of sand
Of course. Yeah.
within the cosmos. But I don't know. It's just made me aware that, it's hard to talk about, but
Yeah, no, it's cool.
We're talking about surfing, but
all right, we'll get back.
It's just made me aware, in my opinion, that we're not alone. And like, if you're ever, questioning it, I believe our mothers and forefathers are with us, and
Okay.
so are other spirits, in my opinion. And like I'm like, I'm never talking dark. I'm just talking pure light.
Yeah,
vibe.
of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have one more question, and then we can move back on to surfing. But this has to do with surfing and life in general, I think. And this is fascinating to me, by the way. Do you think maybe like us, first world? You said first world. You used that term earlier. Americans, Australians, probably a lot of Europe. We don't slow down enough. We're moving. We're going to work, and then or you're in the shaping bay, and then you're trying to get a surf in, and then you're trying.
Yeah.
Do we need to slow down as society?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Okay.
And even like I've had to talk to a few friends lately, and it's like the stress levels are high,
Yeah,
like
100%.
And even like I'm selling less surfboards for sure. Like the economy's in a bad place, but you just got to. The sun's there. The sun's up today.
Yeah.
And like you've just got to, like you're saying. I completely like. I wrote a song a few days ago called "Step Back." And it's like, take a step back. Won't you take a step back? Life in the slow lane. It feels all right.
Wow.
It's like, yeah, and we've got good friends because we're good people, and it's just focusing on those things and trying not to get overwhelmed, like, and like you don't need to sit on someone's tail on the road, and like I'm on a country road here, and people are hauling ass.
Oh no.
And where they're going, maybe you are running late to work or whatever, but it's just like, come on, like we're all in this together, and we all ultimately, I think, we all care about the same things. It's like just, hopefully. I mean, obviously, there's no, we don't all care about the same things,
right?
But
well, I think that's
as surfers, I think.
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
Surfing, musicians. Yeah.
I think surfers have something. Going back to your beginning of the conversation. You said we have nature. We're in nature. We're like literally in it when we surf. And the similarities is in music. You can actually be in the music, in your car, into the music. You could be, doing dishes in the house, but into the music. And
we're lucky, don't we? Because we get that departure from, we get that departure. And some people don't. They don't have.
That's what I'm saying. I think most people don't.
It's like like for example, running. Like, sure, you can run, but are you actually letting your troubles slip away?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Whereas sometimes we're so in the moment with surfing. Well, we just are, aren't we? We don't get a choice in that, and it's like, well, how cool. So if we're in times of stress or worry or feeling like we need to move faster, just try to be in that moment. Try to imagine yourself in that surfing moment, like everyone's taking the drop, regardless of a kid on a bit of foam or someone on a big overhead wave. Like, just be in that moment and breathe and let it go, and try not to let the shit get on top of you.
So I'm going to switch it up a little bit here. Wave pools. What are your thoughts on wave pools?
Oh, that's I mean, I've only ever been in one really, and
Okay.
I found it very different to surfing. Like felt like I was trying to figure it out the whole time. But
Okay.
um, I think they're okay. I think even like that the wave pool contest thing, like that didn't interest me to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for the people on the waves,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
still like, I think you know what I mean. I think it's still just bloody incredible. Like you're still in the moment, aren't you? Like
Yeah, I guess so.
I think I
Well,
don't see a problem in them. I mean, I
okay.
like, but I definitely stick to the George Greeno principle of like I'd rather surf the B grade waves and like paddle out. You're only as good as your last paddle out, that kind of thing.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
so I'm one to like I paddle out on half a foot onshore crap just to get my fix.
Sometimes you have to, you know?
You know, like the whole perfect pool wave thing, like that's cool, but
Yeah.
but it's another avenue to feel like you're surfing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think there's a place for it.
I probably didn't answer your question very well because I don't know a lot about them really.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. At your house, are you surfing mostly beach breaks, point breaks? What are you surfing?
I surf a lot of beach breaks out the front. Yeah. Shifty kind of hollow shifty beach break mainly. Yeah. And it's a long beach, so you can always just walk and find your own little spot, you know. I haven't ridden a longboard in a while. I love it though. Like, you know, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, but you have so many boards that I mean, whatever you pull out, you kind of look at the conditions and just go for it, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like in this barn right now, like as we speak, I'm looking at a stick guitar, which is like hard to describe. It's like a very small stick that sounds huge through an amplifier.
All right.
Tuned to open D, so that's pretty special. And you've got cigar box in F, and then you've got the acoustic, and then you got the electric. It's like spoilt for choice, you know. It's like, and that's why it's fun because you want to do them all justice, you know, because they're amazing things. So like, it's a deep hole, as my dad would say, with any of these things, really.
So you're writing a new song, right?
Yeah.
How do you know what instrument to pick up? Like, do you try them out and it's like, this sounds better, or is it vibe, or is it how feelings, or what is it?
I'm usually just playing the instrument and words come into my head.
Okay.
Yeah, so it kind of works on whatever one I'm playing at the time for me a bit. But then like I've been doing some songs with my friend Jazzy, and he's like, let's just do 2 chords, just keep it super, super simple, like nothing to it. 2 chords, you play acoustic, I'll play electric. And it's like lyrically it's like wake up in the morning, sun is shining, every day's a new day, I can't believe my eyes. Birds they are singing, welcome in a brand new day. Hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. You know, like super simple, nothing to it. That's on repeat on my way to the beach just because lyrically it was all about going to the beach and having and putting and standing on the beach and being, my gosh,
wow,
the vast expanse, you know. So that's like, it's that ritual we all know and love, you know, like special. And it's just trying to convey that, I guess. And that was just 2 chords, and they spoke that way. And then sand between my feet and a warm sun rising. I rise to you, I rise to you, I rise to you. And that's basically rising every day to be in nature, basically. And that's just like, that's where feeling fortunate, there's just too many songs to be written in that.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to feel fortunate though, right? You need to feel
like friends are like, oh, don't you write any sad bastard songs? I'm like, hell no. I'm quite happy to play minor chords, but I'm gonna turn it into a freaking positive every time.
Okay, that's you.
That's me, and I think there's a cathartic nature of in surfing and music, you know.
Okay.
Even if you've got your struggles, you know, you kind of bring on what you put out, you know.
Do you ever have to make yourself pick up the guitar to play, or do you ever make yourself to pick up the surfboard and drive down to the beach, the 12-minute drive? Or
I've never ever stopped the love of surfing, but due to the difficulty and nature of music, I stopped for quite some time.
really, like, didn't even pick up a
Yeah.
guitar to just
Yeah, they
tinker
sat
around
on
in?
the wall. They sat on the wall, and just a travesty.
Wow.
Yeah, which is just a crying shame. It's like,
Well,
they're there to be played, but now like the tap's overflowing again, and I feel so lucky. Like I never lost. Like I could always just like I've never had a block writing,
okay.
but I just didn't want to play.
Yeah, I mean,
But now I'm like, just like it. I attribute a lot of the musical stuff to technology. Like the tap's well and truly open.
do you like playing by yourself, or do you like to play with like your buddies or in a band?
Well, my mate Jazzy, who's one of my dear friends, he's got me. I've got stomp on the left foot and tambourine on the right. So
wow.
Yeah, so I've got pretty good solid backing there. But yeah, I'd love to play. Like, there's songs I've written that are very, very much 80s Australian rock, I guess, and I would like to have a band for those, because for those ones I wouldn't even like to be playing guitar, if I'm honest with you.
You just want to sing?
If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like if you want to have that follow through properly for certain songs, you probably need a band, I think.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it's early days. Like, I feel like I've just started again, really. So
you put the guitar down for 10, 12 years, whatever you said.
Yeah.
Did it give you like a new inspiration though? I mean, maybe it was meant to be put down for 10 years.
I think so. Yeah. I really do. And like, my little nephew was having a strum on my electric guitar, and it sounded so pretty. And I was like, shit, I never ever play electric guitar, and I've got one.
Mm-hmm.
And Indy, he's a great surfer, lovely kid, and he got me pretty inspired too.
Cool.
Yeah. So youth these days.
Yeah. You have any plans of like doing like besides the neighborhood coffee shop, or just in Australia, you plan on doing a little tour in the near future? Or
I've been, like, for so long I've wanted to come back to America, because I've got really good friends there.
Yeah.
And really lovely people who I care about a lot. And now I make boards. Well, it's been a while now, but I've outside of Europe, I haven't been anywhere shaping. So I'd love to go. I'd love to make a few boards in America, and I'd love to play music. And I've kind of got friends that are hopefully going to help me, because I can't manage my way out of a paper bag, to be honest with you. So, being honest.
That's great.
I think hopefully they're helping me. That they're willing to give me a hand and try and help me get out and do a bit more. Like, I can't just live on this little farm in this barn and
you
surf
can
and play
actually.
I can. I know I can, and I'm really good at it. Like, I don't want to talk myself up, but I'm such a hermit crab. Yeah, I could happily just stay here and ride waves and create music, but I did learn from a few shows in Europe and a few shows around here that it feels like a calling, which is kind of weird. It feels kind of weird.
That's cool.
But it's also just that connection, which is sick. Like, to have people, and like, if you're singing together and having a good time, it's like, this is living.
Do you ever get nervous playing in front of people, or do you like thrive on it?
A little bit. Sometimes, mainly because of the technology at my feet, more so than anything else. Because live sound's a tricky animal, and it often comes down to someone that's helping with the sound or winging it myself. So that's probably my biggest nerve.
Okay.
Is that I've always felt like people are there to see you because you're kind of the same people, or they can throw tomatoes and walk out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's their choice. So
that's the chance you take, I guess.
Generally, I think you're on the same wavelength, so to speak.
Of course.
So I don't get too nervous, because it's like, I kind of want to sing well, because it's like about us. It's not about me.
Yes, because we're all there together.
Yeah, exactly. And generally the things I'm singing about, I think there's like an area where we all relate through the activities we do. So
No, 100%. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
When you're in England, how much surfing are you getting there, and how different is it than being in Australia?
It's as opposite as you can get.
Really?
It's yeah. So they do get nice swells. Like I've had some really nice days there, but many a day I've got to chisel the ice off the board. It's onshore, half a foot, gloves, booties, hood, and I'm out there, mate. I'm just in the elements, loving it. Same as this morning out here, where it's like balmy and apparently winter, and not really. You know, like
yeah.
I'm just hopelessly devoted.
There you go. When you're in Europe, are you traveling around, like, you know, going to Scotland or some of these places that are kind of on the same island and surfing different breaks? Or are you staying close to?
I'm kind of like, I just rent a little cabin,
okay.
Like in the same kind of area as my daughter, where her and her mum are.
Yep.
So I don't get to really go too far because I'm just purely there for my little girl, you know, shaping a few boards.
Oh, that's cool. No, that's
doing
cool.
A few gigs, but I always dreamed of being a dad, and now I am. So it's like
that's awesome.
I'm not dropping the ball. She's my world.
Yeah,
you know, so, yeah.
That's great. All right, everybody. This is Mike and Beau Young, and thank you so much for coming on the show, Beau.
Absolute pleasure.
All right, everybody, we're out of here. Thanks.
Life has its twists, has its turns. Life's many months, many seasons. Time flows at one pace, it don't change. Such beauty in being alive on earth. And every little thing on this planet has such worth. For it's with the simple things in life, whoa, simple things in life, they make me smile. Simple things in life, simple things in life, they make me smile. Sun comes up in the morning, birds how they sing, well, it's dawning. Sun it casts a warm shadow around me. I look to the sky and 'tis well in my eyes. For does our human race only know one pace? Is life an overpass, underpass, 6-lane highway? An overpass, underpass, 6-lane highway, yeah. A cellular technology runs our lives. For it's with the simple things in life, whoa, simple things in life, they make me smile. Simple things in life, simple things in life, they make me smile. In the morning, birds how they sing, well, it's dawning. Like watching my baby begin to wake, letting loving's old cool stream run over me. You gotta go with the feeling in your soul. Go with the few things that you know. For it's with the simple things in life, whoa, simple things in life, they make me smile. Simple things in life, simple things in life, they make me smile. Simple 'Cause it's the simple things, oh, it's the simple things, they make me smile.
Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.